So we're going from you let him walk away.
Yeah. And action.
I'm Munroe Bergdorf. I play the character of Rachel in Almost All the Sunshine.
Feel free in your to back her up. So
you can get fake blue.
Yeah.
Almost All the Sunshine is a film about a young transgender girl called Rachel who takes a chance on a date which turns into a one-night stand, and it doesn't end too well.
It's great because you see her family life and you see how that impacts her work life, and then you see her personal life. And it's also nice that we don't talk too much about the whole trans thing, you know, we just kind of let the character be. This is Rachel, she's trans, but this is not all she is. She's this, she's got this to deal with, she's got that to deal with, on top of being trans, but, you know, that doesn't define her.
So you just let him walk away?
I know.
You could be getting ragged around by your hair right now.
You know how much this hair costs me.
Where's the
Yes.
I play the character of Rachel, and she's studying to be an accountant. And she meets this guy called Nathan, and what is seemingly like a series of accidental or spontaneous or serendipitous meetings is actually something a little bit more sinister, and turns out to be a lot more sinister.
Yeah.
I am Craig Stein, my character is Nathan, and I'm pretty sure the film is called I Almost Saw the Sun. I don't know if it's Sunshine or Sun yet.
Sunshine.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Leon, so I'm not sure.
I think it should be Sun.
I said Sun as well.
Yeah.
Put this in the behind the scenes. I've said Sun. I've told Leon that. I don't know what's going to happen. I came to be involved in the film on what I wasn't initially meant to be, and having worked with Leon a few times, personally I was like, you know, it sounds like a great project and stuff, and I was sort of like, I don't want to always just be employed for you just because I'm your mate. I don't want you to give these things to me because I'm your friend and stuff. And he was like, I would never do that anyway. And he's quite adamant about that. He's like, if the person's right for the job, that's exactly why they're going to get it. And I think he had a couple of meetings with a few people and spoke to a couple of people about it, and then he just said no. He's like, will you do this? He was like, you know, you're right for this.
As an even club, you're coming from the far direction. She's like, oh, that's that guy. So you've just been somewhere else. So probably she's been to the Two Brewers, and you've probably been to like some bashment thing, yeah, up in Brixton, and then you're just coming home because you live in the same area on the way and bumped into her. But then days later, after she's ignored him, that's when the fight happens. Alex Theo, who plays MJ.
Hello.
How are you finding it so far?
Brilliant. Working with Leon's a dream come true.
What have you done so far?
Drunk and flirting with a bar guy.
It's a bit of a blur kind of how Leon cast me within the role. We met up initially, and he came to me with an idea, like a brief outline of what he wanted for the film, and I just basically told him about some of my life experiences and how I see certain situations, and he took all of that on board. Just really took time to understand where my character would be coming from, base it around my feelings and the after effects of how I viewed the situation that Rachel goes through. So yeah, I mean, the whole thing's super well thought out and incredibly well written. So I was just, as soon as I heard the idea, I was like, I really want to be part of it, and I really want to push myself because I hadn't done anything before.
The reason why the film came about was it was part of my MA course at the University of East London. I was studying an MA for a year, and it was the thesis film, and my tutors had said, you know, we want you to make something original, something specifically designed for the course. And I've always believed in telling stories that warrant discussion, that maybe deal with issues, or not deal with them, but talk about issues that are prevalent and that need discussion. I think it's amazing that there are a lot more trans people represented within the media. But what I was hearing a lot of was, oh, trans is being done, oh, trans issues have been done. And I feel that a lot of big commercial bodies have kind of taken it because they feel like it's a way to get people interested in, or to gain a new audience in some way and not actually to talk about issues that are important. So Munroe, I spoke to her and I was asking her what she felt, what issues within the trans community that weren't being spoken about, and she said violence towards trans women, and particularly trans women of colour. So I looked into it and I found that there was like an astonishing figure of trans women around the world who'd been murdered, and I just wanted to tell a story that warranted discussion.
We're just about to film the scene where Rachel and Nathan first have sex, and I think it's we're being called. I think it's where Rachel starts to realise kind of that things aren't really right, and you start to see kind of the power dynamic kind of become a little bit uncertain. So yeah, it's gonna be an intense scene, an intense moment in the film.
How are you feeling, Craig Stein?
Yeah, good man.
What scene are you getting ready to do?
I'm getting ready to make love, baby. Boom, boom, boom.
We did a scene last week where I had watched it back straight away, and it really actually knocked the wind out of me, because I'd seen immediately afterwards what was being portrayed, and normally I can finish a job, get it out of my sort of event release, and then watch the finished product and sort of just take it as the story and it's fine. But having done it and then seen it back, I was just a bit like, this is this is a lot. I was like, okay, this is the portrayal. This is where we're going with it.
Then Rachel's hand's going to come down, grab the side. We'll get a quick
hand?
of
This
that.
one?
Either way, well, probably that one, yeah. So if you grab the side there.
Yeah.
So grab the side, and then we'll get a cutaway of the hand, grabbing it, side. We'll come back. You forward to that side, and then we'll get her reaction as in, actually, that didn't feel as hot as it should have. I think it's important that a film like this has been made. As with other films that I've made before, like Soft Lad, which was a feature-length film that I made, issues that maybe mainstream TV wouldn't pick up on because it's not commercially viable, or maybe they're afraid because it's stories that aren't necessarily going to bring in an audience, or they're just afraid of getting complaints. The same with films, mainstream films. If you've got a producer who's put money into it, they want to see there's going to be a return. I've been very lucky. I don't have anyone to answer to really, so before I even start, the fact that I own my own cameras, my own lighting equipment, some sound equipment, I kind of take thousands of pounds off a budget straight away. And I'm very lucky to have an amazing core group of friends who are also filmmakers who helped me out and who worked on this film. And particularly a good friend of mine, Ashley Campbell, who came on board as producer, who helped me.
Ashley Campbell, the producer.
Hi.
Have you found it?
I've loved it.
You've been worked to the bone, haven't you?
I've worked to the bone. It's been a 12-hour...
Oh, where are them forms, the release forms?
Release forms are all signed.
Where are they?
They're in my bag.
How do you feel, CORRY, Raymond?
I feel so good.
So what just happened?
Well, what time is it? I'll start with what time it is.
What time is it actually?
Right, it's 20 minutes past 12. That is
Can't even see, that's too bright.
a 12-hour, 20-minute day, I think. And yeah, it's been a massive success. Really massive success. I'm overwhelmed. The sex scene wasn't what I thought it would be. It was fucking harrowing, horrible, moving. We're all exhausted from it actually. Yeah. And you know what, if you're crying on set, you know you're doing something well.
You robbed it off someone else. You robbed that quote off who?
Jimmy McGovern.
Working with your friend as like the producer director, it's got to be a lot of trust there, hasn't there? And I've known him for 20 years. I didn't know anything about Munroe really before, so when we said we've got a trans actress, she's an activist, she's big on the scene, and to me, you hear that and you go, oh, that's good, but can she act?
And action.
Is that what I got you?
I'll make out to you later.
She's actually really taught me a lot, and actually about the fact that these women are going through these really horrendous situations, like with guys abusing them, you know, who have got their own issues and transferring it onto them, and to actually learn about that through this film has been really, really interesting. And now I've actually played a trans character in a play, Gutted, a few years ago, and now actually when I think about it, I don't think that's... I think an actor can play anything, but I think it's so great when you actually have a trans actress instead of getting somebody in to layer all of that on top of them. The casting was such a big process because all of the parts are big parts. There's no supporting characters. Liz Carling, who's playing Carol, a really good friend of ours who I'd worked with, died a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and I became really friendly with Liz. And Liz has been on TV since the 80s. Like, she was in Boone, Barbara, Goodnight Sweetheart, Casualty. She's done so much good work, and I've always really admired her as an actress. And when this part came up, I was like, Leon, this woman's amazing.
Something happens in the music and it's, oh, and then it takes me round there, oh, you cheeky little there.
Mrs.
Exam then spins all the way round.
Ashley approached me a couple of months ago and said, would I be involved in Leon Lopez's latest movie? And I said, yes, I'd love to. And read the script and really loved it. So I said yes. My character's name is Carol, and she's Rachel's mum. She was left by her husband a few years ago, George. He just couldn't cope with the whole journey, with Rachel's journey and her transition, and a combination of being left alone and everything that was happening to her in her life, in Carol's life. She is alcohol dependent. Through Rachel's transition, she had a role to play. She was the great supporter and giver, and now everything's beautiful. She's a beautiful daughter, but she's left feeling, but what's my role? I was the helper, and now I feel helpless in my own world. I don't feel like I have a role anymore, and unfortunately that's left her hitting the bottle.
Or take two.
And then Ima, who plays Munroe's best friend, she is just, they're honestly, on set, they are just so powerful. They're so gorgeous. And Ima, I think she's recently started transitioning. So it was amazing to have somebody who's at the end of their journey transitioning and somebody who's at the beginning, and having them both on screen playing best friends.
Rachel is mixed race, so she's also dealing with issues of being abandoned by her father. He's abandoned her because basically he doesn't agree with, and he wasn't happy when she decided to go through the transition. I also felt it was quite important to talk about prejudice towards the LGBT community within black communities. As a mixed race person myself, and of being Jamaican heritage, this is something that I really wanted to put into the film.
Okay, nice. So Munroe, what we'll do is, we're going to have you turn out as if one of them's an alleyway. You'll walk down here, you'll walk down this way now, and action.
I'm a gay guy, I'm mixed race, I live in London, but I'm from Liverpool, I'm northern. A lot of the themes that I work on are going to be working class, are going to be to do with colour, are going to be to do with sexuality.
My character's journey within this and sort of his behaviour, I think there's not a lot of thought to what he's actually doing to somebody, and it's very selfish. If anyone's to get a message from it, I hope it makes people sort of recognise. Maybe it would bring caution to someone who is trans, who sees particular traits of someone that could be possibly dating or someone they might know. I would hope it would give someone the courage actually to really look at themselves if they were in my character's position and sort of, you know that it's not okay to sort of treat people like that, and have your own shit sorted before you sort of enter into something.
With violence towards trans women is constantly on the rise, especially trans women of colour. I thought that this is an incredible opportunity to get the story out and just to spark a conversation, because ultimately the conversation is not really being had by people that aren't directly friends of trans women or in the LGBT community. It's just not really being talked about. So to tell this story and start creating a narrative where we can just speak a little bit more openly about the fact that this is happening more and more and more, and more trans women are being killed each year, and it's increasing every year.
There are so many people out there struggling on either side. So there's guys out there who like trans women, can't deal with it, and then they lash out in these really bizarre ways. I think that we're saying actually it is abuse, and you sort of think there's so much baggage there, and I think if we're even bringing a little bit of it to light, then we're doing our jobs properly.
I guess what's next for the project is hopefully to put it out into festivals. The main thing is just get it in front of an audience and get people talking about the issues involved in it.
I'm just really glad that I met with Leon, and he took so long to kind of understand where the character would be coming from, but all characters and all dynamics. Yeah, I can't wait for it all to come together.